Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gender of Sex podcast. And this is episode 3. Can't believe we're on episode 3.
Wow.
I'm Janvi Sharma.
And I'm Shreya Vishwanath Basu.
And today we're going to be talking about something that is pretty relatable to most of the world. I'd say all of the world. We're going to be talking about our bodies, more specifically, body image and navigating the ideal body type. So, Shreya, my question to you is that growing up as a woman, as an Indian woman, um, did you feel any pressures or any sort of expectations for yourself to look a certain way
Mhm.
or to fit into a certain body type?
That is a really good question. And I think it's changed over the years, and I
Yeah.
do want to explain why that is.
Yeah.
So I'm of above average height. I'm relatively lean. So I've always thought I fit into that conventional body type that's attractive according to
Yeah.
the movies we watched as kids. I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, I fit into this.
Yeah.
But my reality came crashing down at one point, and I think since then it's been a conscious process of understanding, accepting my body.
Yeah.
And that was in eighth grade or ninth grade, when I was 13 or 14, basically. I'm not even going to mention the environment where this happened because then, unfortunately, it'll be easy to identify who the
Yeah.
people were.
That's fine. We don't
But
need
there
that.
was a group of guys that was providing ratings for a group of women, uh, girls. They were also 13 to 16 years of age, and we were also between 13 to 15. And when they told me this, I was first mortified that somebody was rating people and rating women. But the real toxic part comes here, which is I thought I would be rated well.
Yeah.
I'm thin, and from the movies, all I understood was that if you're thin, it's good.
Yeah.
Because I had not really even hit puberty then. Okay, so and I was rated one of the lowest, and it was because I'm not curvy. And apparently, 13 to 16-year-old boys have the agency and audacity to say that
say.
they wanted more curves in my body to find me attractive, to give me a higher rating. And I never questioned it.
Yeah. Can I just, sorry to interrupt you, but I
Yes.
just want to know, did you want to be rated higher at that time? Did it make you feel bad that you were rated lower?
I did feel bad that I was rated lower. That's what I'm saying. It was the first time that I thought about my body,
Yeah.
not being conventionally okay.
Yeah.
And from then, it's been like a journey of which part of my body do I like, which
Yeah.
part of my body don't I like. And everything is about how other people see it. But yeah, before we get into maybe more questions and conversations along this way, I do want to understand what it was like for you because we have very differing body types.
Yeah.
We're not lacking confidence, that may be clear
No.
now, okay? But differing body types, and how has that affected your perception of your body and how you've presented yourself or how you've thought of yourself?
Okay. So, as is obviously visible as well, I have a different body type to you. I always have had a different body type to you. I've always been on the chunkier side. I've always been curvy in the conventional sense. Sometimes, obviously, I've felt not so great about my body, much like a lot of people do. And I think clearly, if you would see me, I don't fit into the ideal body type either. But it's because I'm not a 24-inch waist and that whole 36, 24, 36 bracket that we put ourselves into.
And I do want to say that 36, 24, 36, for a lot of my life, I only
Yeah.
had the 24.
Yeah.
I did not have 36. I still don't. But I was like, oh, I have some part of it.
Yeah.
But if someone had 36 or 36 and not the 24, I was like, oh, no, they don't have it.
Yeah.
Because there's just, it's,
Yeah.
ingrained into your system
I know,
of
which
what's
is-
okay. But yeah, going
No,
back to the point.
absolutely. Like I was always on the 36 part of it and the 36, but never the 24. And not to say that I was massively chubby. I've always been a chubby person, but I've always gotten compliments about how I look, and yes, more so. I've also obviously had issues with my own body, and there have been times where I have sort of been prompted to lose weight, whether it's to do with a health reason or whether it's just me thinking that I'm not in my ideal body type or I'm not feeling myself. Yeah, so I think it's been a difficult relationship. I think everyone, doesn't matter what they look like, They all have different relationships with their bodies, and I wouldn't say any relationship with a body and a person is easy. So yeah, I think even growing up, right, when I look at my pictures from when I was younger, I at the time thought that I was big and I was
Mm.
very chubby and like thick and fat. But now when I look at those pictures, I don't think that I was.
Hindsight.
It's some, and even now, like, yeah, absolutely, I may not fit into a certain body type that's considered to be ideal, but I don't think that I've ever not been confident about my body. I think
Also,
I've
who is ideal?
Yeah,
What is
I know.
ideal? Why does that?
Why is it even a thing? I just
That's like that's a much deeper ingrained problem.
Mhm.
But you can
Yeah,
continue. Sorry, I just like it.
I
These
know.
conversations about body, really, like genuinely, I
Yeah,
think we have
yeah,
been so affected by
yeah.
it that you don't even realize your reality is shaped so much
By it.
by your body
Yeah,
image of yourself and
yeah.
how you think of it. You
I
know,
know. And also, like, sometimes when people say stuff like people should dress according to their body type, like, what does that statement even mean? Like,
I've said it
you know. So
as
I
a when I
probably
was
said it as
younger.
well
I've
and thought it.
I've been like somebody who's curvy and is wearing tight clothes. It
Hmm.
was, I've said, oh, someone said, oh,
Yeah,
why is she wearing those
yeah,
clothes? You should dress for your body type. I
yeah.
respect everyone who dresses for their body
Body
type.
type. Yeah.
And I agreed.
What is a body type? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, why should some people be considered prettier or more attractive if they wear a certain type of clothing or a
Yeah.
pair of shorts? And why should some people be forced to cover their body up because of what they look like?
Yeah.
And honestly, I think this goes beyond weight. This
Yeah.
also is a big reflection on scars,
Yeah.
on birthmarks, on acne, or any sort of changes that your body may endure,
Hmm.
right? Or any sort of additions or subtractions that may come from your body, and not just your proportions. So yeah, I think um growing up, again, like, I was never very skinny, but yeah, some people around me were. Everyone was of different weights, and yes, many times I have compared myself to some of my friends. I have compared myself to people I've seen on television or on media and been like, oh, I wish I had that body type. I can't wear a scarf top the same way someone else can, because
Yeah.
my chest is obviously it's not conducive to it.
Mm.
And yeah, sometimes I bitch and moan and I crib about the fact that yeah, I can't wear something in exactly the same way as someone else. But that doesn't stop me from wearing what I want to wear. I
Yeah.
think that's one thing I always told myself: no matter what, I'm always going to wear whatever I want to
Yeah.
wear without being scared. But I think the sad part that comes with it is also the fact that sometimes we are sexualized, right? For example, if like somebody who was leaner than I was, for example, let's say if you were to wear a top that was deeper, right? Yes, it would look good on both of us, absolutely, always, as it should, because there's no ideal body type that should fit into a certain piece of clothing, but it would look more sexual, or I would be more sexualized in
Yeah.
that context,
Yeah.
in terms of, because I would have a bigger cleavage that's visible, which I find quite ridiculous. I
Yeah.
feel like it doesn't matter, like, how can a piece of clothing determine whether or not you are objectified?
I really enjoyed that little fun rant you've gone on about because, like I said, and we've agreed, genuinely, so much of our lives are dictated by how we've seen our body.
Yeah.
And I want to share a small story and then get into my question to you.
Yes.
When I was doing my undergrad, we had a lot of very strict dress code rules. Okay, this I did my undergrad in Bangalore. I did engineering, so it's conservative on conservative in that period of time, right?
Yeah.
Again, I sound like I'm really old, but it was a while ago. Okay, this was more than 10 years ago. Um, and I was wearing like one of those chiffon, or like this actually, like a chiffon top which is clear. I was wearing a slip under it,
Yeah.
and under that, of course, my bra. And I was writing an exam. This is my final
Yeah.
examination for one of my semesters. And a female professor comes up to me, the invigilator, and she's like, I've noticed what you're wearing, and I'm going to let it go this time and not kick you out of the exam.
What were you
But you
wearing?
can't dress like that. Like I was wearing like a chiffon top with a slip underneath and a bra, and she could see my slip, I think, from one side because it was a sheer chiffon. I was wearing that underneath.
Yeah.
And she's like, next time if you dress like this, I'm going to have to ask you to leave the exam and you won't be able to write it. And I want to explain what kind of impact that had on me in that moment because I was also writing an exam. So first I was so
Yeah.
taken aback and offended and angry. And then I'd also lost my concentration to write the paper. Engineering is not easy, guys.
No.
Okay, I had really put everything into my brain at 6 a.m. that morning, and at 9:30 a.m. the woman is telling me that I'm wearing the wrong clothes.
And also, like, what the hell is an outfit going to reflect your credibility and your smartness in terms of
It's
writing a bloody exam? Like,
and
it's
that
so
is
ridiculous to me.
and that is the perfect way to get into my question. How has how somebody else has seen your body or perceived your body
Yeah.
impacted you, and how has it also shaped how you look at your body? And
Yeah.
please feel free to share as many examples as you would like, because I know unfortunately we have too many.
Yeah. I think for a long time, I always considered myself when I was younger. Obviously, didn't give it much thought at the time in terms of what I look like in terms of my whatever numbers in terms of my 36, 24, 36. But it was more so like having body hair, like not
Mm.
wanting to have body hair, um, wanting to not have any acne. But thankfully, I was one of those people who did not have a lot of acne, so I was blessed. But I always had glasses. But then I embraced my glasses because I didn't know life without
Did anyone
glasses.
call you
All
Chashmish?
the time, all the time. And you know what? The funny part was, I was so happy to be called Chashmish because Kal Ho Na Ho had just come out, and Preeti
Ah,
Zinta was called Chashmish by Shah Rukh Khan, and I loved that. And
yeah.
I wanted to be called
And
Chashmish.
Deepika Padukone
Cool
also, right?
in
In Ye
Ye
Jawani,
Jawani Hai Diwani.
that movie has problems, but when he goes, "Hey Chashmish," and that Balam
Mm,
Pichkari too, like song
yeah.
starts. Yeah.
No, so definitely, I think I loved the Chashmish factory. I think it was more so about, um, body hair and stuff. And I think I was one of the first people in, when I was growing up in school to have a sports bra when everyone was wearing a
Mm.
vest. So I think that was a big one.
That banyan, dude. For the longest time, I think my brother and I shared the same banyan. I mean, it's not like we wore the same ones, but we just bought, one size for me, one size for him. Till very late, when I started seeing that, women
Yeah,
were wearing that female vests, which are
yeah,
more like slips.
yeah.
And I was still wearing the thick, really Sunny Deol banyan that I was sporting. And I really, one day I went home and I was like, enough.
Oh my
I,
God,
I need,
yeah.
I need, I have to, not be
Yeah,
Sunny Deol
yeah,
anymore.
no, I completely understand it. So yeah, I think um seeing a lot of people around me who look different to me in terms of their bodies, and I always felt like, ooh, that person looks a certain way that I want to look that way,
Mm,
because clearly they had something that I wanted, which was to
yeah.
be thinner. And
But
also,
that was because of how other people perceived it, or how
yeah,
you? Because
I think it was a mix of both because,
Mm,
okay, small example, but like when you have some of your female friends, right, and they are different to you in body type. For example, in my case, some of them were skinnier, and some of them maybe got a bit more male attention at certain points, right? And if I liked someone, like, I was like, okay, am I not getting this attention at this point because I look a certain way? But thankfully, I was never made to feel that way ever. I was never made to feel,
because of your friends.
yes,
So it was not the friends' gaze that
no,
potentially
no,
made you
no,
think lower of your
no,
body.
no.
Was there particular types of gazes that maybe did make you
Yeah,
question?
probably. I think I don't want to generalize by saying the male gaze, but unfortunately, we've internalized the
Yeah.
male gaze. It's not just the boys that have the male gaze; it's also us because
Yeah.
we've sort of piggybacked on that concept and taken it forward. So it could be like, random older people, or like aunties saying, that you should dress a certain
You
way.
know what I love about these aunties? That they really brought into fashion the salwar kameez with sneakers look.
Yeah,
And
sari and
yeah, and
sneakers.
I couldn't wear what I want. You have chosen comfort,
Also,
but if I choose it, I'm.
also if we have a little bra strap showing, that's a big problem. But if aunties, right, with their chota chota blouses and their sarees going to do sabzi shopping, that's okay. Crop top नहीं पहन सकते, but वो वाली साड़ी पहन लेंगे. But anyway, so yeah, I think obviously, I think the male gaze in a way was internalized in all of us growing up. And yeah, I think, you kind of feel like you want to be desirable, not just to boys, obviously as heterosexual people, but to anyone,
Yeah.
to girls, to boys, to anyone who you think should find you desirable,
Yeah.
whether it's in a way that they find you attractive, or they find you, likable. And
Mm.
likability not in terms of your personality, but in terms of what you look like. So yeah, I think those petty notions pretty much existed in my head as well, much like anyone else. And I did question, like, at the time when my friends were either dating other people or getting attention from other people, and if I wasn't at
Mhm.
that point, definitely one of the big questions in my head was, is it because of the way I look? Is it because I'm not pretty enough? Is it because
Yeah.
I'm not tall enough or thin enough? Or is my hair too fluffy? Or But then the flip side happened, and then it was more like, oh, because I am curvy, I fit into a different kind of body type, that the attention kind of became a bit,
Yeah.
like sometimes it kind of fluctuated, sometimes it was wanted, sometimes it was
Mm.
unwanted. So it was quite a roller coaster
Yeah.
situation.
I think for me, I was influenced more by the, not more, also a lot by the female gaze that is, of course, imbibing the male gaze.
Yeah.
Let me not take away from that.
Just stemming from the fact that we were talking about, not stemming, but to talk a bit more about the gaze, right? I'm
Mm.
not pinpointing that just men have a male gaze. We've all internalized that. It's penetrated all of our socialization. So yeah, I think when I was younger, like very young, like maybe teens, pre-teens,
Mm.
right? I think I was playfully called Moti by one or two guy friends, and it kind of, it was not meant in a harsh way, it wasn't meant to be
Mm.
hurtful, but it did kind of make me feel bad because when I look at myself back then, I don't think I was,
And it's also a
and
name
it's,
based on what someone thinks of your body.
yeah,
So it's again, your body
yeah,
is then defining
I
you
know,
according to someone, not
exactly.
everything else,
And it wasn't anything to do with who I am as a person. It was only to do with what I look like,
Yeah.
and it's a, it's kind of like, yeah, it's not a bad word, but the way it was said, it made me feel like it was a bad word.
The intention matters,
Yeah, I guess, so, but anyway,
Yes. I want to go
yes,
into the quick, like,
funsy.
funsies. It's not funsies, actually, unfortunately, when it's talking about your body,
I
because it's
know.
so deeply rooted in who we are today.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask you some questions that could maybe help us look at our body now more positively, or just like let someone else also be like, I do love my body.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what is a part of your body that you love?
I think this is something I've always loved. It's my lips because they have a nice shape according to me, and
Mm.
I think I love lipstick. I love putting lipstick.
And you have some really like fun shades. If you go right now to Janvi's room and you ask her for one lipstick in one random color, she
hard.
will get like 40 different lipsticks out for
Yeah.
you. So you've always loved
I
lipsticks.
have, yeah, and I think
Yeah.
I've been blessed with nice lips to be able to put the
And
lipsticks
so
on them.
no
So yeah,
fillers,
no
no
fillers.
fillers. Okay,
Hopefully none in the future
just
either.
checking.
So yes,
To
I
each
think
their own. Just
I know,
checking for now.
I know. I love my lips. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good. So my question to you is, what is one part of your body that you did not like
Hmm.
when you were younger, but you've come to embrace it now?
Mm. My shoulders, actually. I had really, really bony shoulders. So till I was maybe like 22, 23, I would not wear sleeveless tops.
Really?
I was very, very conscious because this bone here,
Yeah.
it used to stick out a lot. And I think when I was younger, somebody had called it out at one point, like, what is that on your shoulder?
Yeah.
I was like, it's just my bone. But I was
Yeah.
young, and then I felt really conscious and I could never wear sleeveless. And since I've, of course, gone through life and gained some
Yeah.
healthy weight, again,
And
not
wisdom.
complaining, but my arms have gotten their own personality. Now they're
Mhm.
not just matchsticks attached to a body, to a stick body, as has been said to
Yeah.
me. Now they're their own personality, and I quite enjoy these, like,
Yeah. But that's great. I know that
yeah.
I love that you've come to sort of embrace your arms, which
Yeah,
is, yeah,
I
I
have.
know.
Okay, and I have to ask you this because,
Yes.
and I think I know your answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Yes.
Uh, in Bollywood,
Yes.
if you really want to add Hollywood, you can, but
I
I
think
know you
Bollywood
won't.
is
It's fine.
okay.
In Bollywood,
Yes.
what was a character that you saw on screen and you thought that's who you want to be like? That's the ideal body, or that's a body you looked up to, um, just growing up.
I think because of how many times I've seen that film and I'm obsessed with that character, it has to be Pooh from K3G because not just because of the way her outfits were and
Mm.
how her bedroom was, everything else. I envied everything and I was like, yeah, I want to be her. But it was more so about she fit the ideal body type at that time as to
Mm.
what I thought ideal meant. She was thin, but she was thin enough. She was the right kind of thin. She was
Mm.
also voluptuous, she had the curves. So at that time, what I felt was perfect, the right mix of thin and curvy. She was it. And I
Yeah.
idealized that completely. And I was like, I want to be her. Yeah,
Amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. What about you? So who
Mm.
was your, at that point, ideal body type from Bollywood?
Yeah. It's also Kareena Kapoor, but a different character that she played. It was Tina from Mujhse Dosti Karoge. And I think I was young, like I was 7 or 8 when I first watched that movie. And I just remember thinking, and I think that's also what plays in for you a little bit with Pooh, and we can talk about more Kareena Kapoor outfit. It's
Yes.
her confidence.
Yeah. I
She was
think so.
so confident in her body.
Yeah.
She was wearing like these nice flared pants and crop tops, while everybody else in the movie was wearing covered clothes. Okay,
Yeah.
even the female characters. And I remember thinking, when I turn 18, I will dress like that in like wherever I was living in Delhi.
Yeah.
I was like, I will do this. I just loved her body. And there's this
Yeah.
medley at the end, which I'm sure you
Yeah.
know every
Yeah.
song of. But she's wearing this thing where her stomach is very flat. And I remember thinking, oh, that's the kind of like, and that was thin,
Yeah.
Kareena
Thin.
Kapoor. I was like, oh, I want to look like that at some
Yeah.
point. And let me be clear, I have grown out of that because I think she was just young. Like
Yeah.
when you are 18, 19, if you are a thin person, you will have a flat stomach.
Yeah.
I'm still thin. I do not have a flat stomach. Okay, it doesn't
I don't
happen.
think
Nobody has a flat.
flat
Like you
stomach.
can't.
Not
And
really.
even if you have a flat stomach, it's not the entire month.
No.
Okay, your
No.
body goes through all these hormonal changes.
Absolutely. And
But this has actually brought up a fun point. I wanna maybe delve into a
yes.
little bit more.
Yes.
Is Kareena Kapoor's confidence, and I think confidence
Yeah.
is such a big
Big
thing.
factor. I agree.
When did you become confident in your body?
I think I think I was always confident in my
Yeah.
body. I don't know, because like I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I've never felt conscious about wearing anything.
Hmm.
I don't know what it was, but despite feeling and having a difficult relationship with my body, I don't want to take away from that. But I always wore what I wanted to wear because I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do it. If I like something, I'm gonna wear it.
Yeah.
There have been days where I have liked nothing put on my body, no matter how nice it is or how pretty it is or how much I loved it in the store. Absolutely. But in my head, if I like it, I'm going to wear it.
That's amazing.
And it's honestly, I don't know where it's come from.
Yeah.
I really don't know where it's come
I
from.
never had that. I
But
think I feel like I'm the kind of person who runs 1 year behind every fashion trend. So there'll be something that's trending and I have to look at it for a while.
yeah,
I'll first it'll come to me late. Then I have to think about it. Then I either don't like it or I like it too much. And then by the time I figure out where to get it
yeah,
and how it fits on me and how I feel in it, the trend is gone.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
started wearing mom jeans like last year. Everybody's been wearing it for 5 years,
Yeah.
So I think I run behind trends because of my
Yeah,
lack of confidence in my
yeah.
body a little bit. But I do want to say that I want to caveat that by saying I'm a lot more confident
Then you were.
now. I quite enjoy I quite enjoy dressing up and
Yeah,
working with my body a little bit. I do think that's more in the UK actually.
yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah, for me,
Yeah,
it has been since I've moved
I agree
here.
with you.
I'm not worried about what people would
Not
think.
at
I
all.
don't think anyone's actually looking at me.
No, no one.
In India, I'm not
But
saying that like anything will happen because
yeah,
of it, but I do think that somebody
people
might
are
be
looking
looking,
at
even
you.
if they're not. Like it's in
Yeah,
my head that somebody was.
yeah.
I've let go of
Absolutely.
that notion. It's
Yeah.
like when I'm walking, the world is not around me. It's
Mm.
okay.
No, I do. I completely agree. I do think that being here
Yeah.
has helped a lot in terms of wearing what you want to wear. Like, for example, like I've always been skeptical about bikinis.
Mm.
I've probably never worn a bikini in India because obviously I don't have a flat stomach, right? And I am chunky, and it's hard to find a set that fits both the top and the bottom.
They
But
want this 36, 24,
for
36,
26,
but they
yeah.
won't make for it.
I know, absolutely. But here, I have been able to wear a bikini, weather permitting, which is not always. So yeah, I think yeah, that's the one thing that I've kind of come into, which
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't be able to wear a bikini in India even now.
Yeah.
It
Each
is
their
what it
own.
is. Yeah,
That's what it comes with. No, I agree.
I
And I
know.
think we could keep going on.
We
To be
could,
honest,
we
to talk
could.
about this because only some examples have come up. We of course have many more. Like I've
Yeah,
alluded to many times in
yeah,
this conversation.
yeah,
We are very highly defined by how we
yeah.
perceive our bodies and how we think other people do it.
This could be a whole movie,
Yeah.
and we basically have a lot more to say.
Yeah.
But I
But
think this is
yes,
uh,
we will.
a good time to wrap it up
Yes. So
and give you some food for thought
yes. So like, share, and
and subscribe.
subscribe.
We'll see you next
Yeah.
time.